Hello and welcome back. This video covers exporting, validating, and publishing GTFS Fares v2. We will be using the fare data that we created in the previous video for the fictional agency CatCat. These videos assume you already have a GTFS feed and know how and where it's published. Let's get started. From within Google Sheets, we will need to export each sheet as its own file. If you are using a different spreadsheet application, the process will most likely be different. Starting with your first sheet. In this case, I have Fare Media, navigate up to File, and then Download. Then select comma-separated values, CSV. We will go ahead and do this for each of the sheets. In order to add GTFS Fares v2 data, you will need at minimum fare products and fare leg rules. If your fares are very simple and you do not need any of the other files, you do not need to download the empty sheets. For example, for CatCat, we have not used areas, stop areas, or timeframes. I won't bother downloading these. Once you have all your files downloaded, you'll need to rename them. File names have to be exact. We will also have to change the extension name. Your computer may ask if you're sure you want to change the file extension from .csv to .txt, or you may have to click again or manually highlight that part of the file name. If your system does not display file extensions, you may have to go into Settings to show them. This file should be fareproducts.txt. Make sure you have fully renamed the file, and you do not have something like fareproducts.txt.csv. Now, you'll want to get a copy of your latest GTFS feed. If you don't already have it, download and unzip it. Next, copy your fares files into your GTFS directory. All of the fares v2 files are new, so you shouldn't need to worry about overwriting anything. Now, your feed should look something like this. Select all the files and zip them back together. Make sure to zip all the individual files and not the directory they are in. If you are using Windows, you may use a different program to zip and unzip your feed. On Mac, I'm simply able to select all the files, right-click, and compress. It's always a good idea to validate your feed before you publish it and put it into production. In this video, we'll use the Mobility Data GTFS Validator to make sure everything is looking good. I've included a link below in the description for this video. We'll go ahead and drag the zipped feed into the validator, and then we can review the report. We are primarily looking for errors. The validation report also includes warnings and other info, which are useful for examining the quality of your GTFS. You'll want to focus mainly on anything relating to your new fares data. If there are other errors, you may want to discuss those with your GTFS vendor, but we won't be covering that here. As long as you don't have any critical errors, you're good to go and ready to publish. You most likely work with a vendor to create and publish your GTFS. If that is the case, see below in the description for a link to our written guide. It includes information about working with your vendor to publish fares v2 and helpful scripts for contacting them. If your agency self-publishes its GTFS, you can follow your usual process to upload your updated feed. For the majority of agencies, your schedule data will change more frequently than your fares. In many cases, you will just need to make sure that these fare files are included every time you update your GTFS, and you will only need to edit them when your fares change. If a vendor publishes your GTFS, be sure to check periodically to make sure that the fare files, such as fareproducts.txt, are still present in your feed. Great work! If you've followed along to this point, you've made great progress in providing your riders with better and more accessible information. If you don't already, it's a great idea to share your GTFS as widely as possible. The video description also includes a link to a resource on sharing your GTFS. Consider uploading your GTFS to feed aggregators, such as the Mobility Database and Transitland. It's a great way to make your data even more widely available and accessible. If in doubt, Check with your vendor to see if they are already doing so. That's it for the basics on creating and publishing your own GTFS Fares V2 data. I hope these videos have been useful. Future videos will cover more advanced topics and complicated fares structures, but if there's anything in particular that you'd like to see, please drop a comment below or join the Mobility Data Slack community. Thank you for watching. Your riders and the transit community at large appreciate your dedication to providing the best quality data possible.